Morning, my friends. It's great to be with you all this lovely weekend in December. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. I can feel the holiday season already. And not only that, I can still feel the bluefin tuna because they are biting as good as they have all year long. I mean, they are chewing up a storm. They're biting in the daytime. There's a little bit of a nighttime signal, and it's full speed on the live squid. Even the stomped on, crushed piece of squid that looks like something that you wouldn't eat in a million years. They tossed that out on the pry the other day and it got bit. There's all kinds of really good fishing going on out there on Tanner and Cortez Bank, and it doesn't seem to want to slow down. And this is going to be a really fun weekend for Friedman Adventures. First of all, we're over in La Mirada separating clothing in just a couple of more hours. We'll be heading over there to the warehouse at Gallagher Staging, and we'd love you to come over and drop in. We'll be there from 9 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. Here's what we're doing, okay? We've got a bunch of clothing, and we need to separate it into men's, women's, children. That's it. We'll have a really good time. It'll be a lot of fun. And if you can come over this morning, it would truly be appreciated. Just send Greg a text. Greg Bates, his number is 714-868-1577. I'll be there. Greg will be there. A whole bunch of other people will be there. And man, if we could knock this out, we'll be well prepared for about 8 events we're doing in Mexico to help our brothers and sisters there who really need our help. There's no safety net in Mexico. So when you're poor, you don't have a jacket and it's cold out, you're in a really tough situation. And we intend to alleviate that for so many of our brothers and sisters. And it's a way for all of us, fishermen and outdoorsmen, to say thank you to Mexico. Thank you to the country and to the people for allowing us to come there and fish and have so many great outdoor activities. And then tomorrow, Sunday morning, right here at 22nd Street Landing, it's Coffee with Phil. That's right. Come on down, have a cup of coffee. The coffee's on us. 9 a.m. to 11. Who knows? We may even hang out longer than that. We can talk fishing. We can talk our new raffle that's coming up, our next kids fishing trip that's going to take place here in this month. So much to talk about. But we've got fishing. We've got so much more. And it's all here on, well, yeah, you know what time it is. It's time for... oh my God, it's time for this cup of coffee, and it's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Ah, delicious. Hey, it is great to be back with you, and I hope you're going to be able to come over and join us in La Mirada in just a couple of hours. We're at, once again, Greg's number. Send him a text, 714-868-1577. He'll send you the address, tell you how to find us, and then we'll do that separation of the clothing and get all that great stuff that so many people have donated down to Mexico Lindo. And that is going to be a labor of love. It's always a lot of fun to see you down there, and we can get a lot of work done here today. And then tomorrow, don't forget, Sunday morning at 22nd Street Landing, 9 a.m. Come on by for a cup of coffee. Coffee's on us. We'll chat about fishing and whatever else you want to chat about, how we can improve Friedman Adventures, other things that we can do to make the show better for you. Hey, we're all ears. Come on down, and we'll have a nice morning together. How's that sound? All right, let's get into the fishing. Oh, hey, give me a like, will you please? Hit that like button for Friedman Adventures. We really appreciate it. So many of you already do it, but it's one way that helps us to move up in the algorithm here at YouTube. So if you could do that, it would be deeply appreciated. All right, it's time to get into some fishing. And man, I'll tell you, there is some good stuff going on. First of all, though, I thought I'd show you this footage from the bait boat, Wolverine, the new bait boat that's operating here for 22nd Street as well as down there at Newport and everywhere else. Check it out. In the old days, we used to have to braille the bait out of the nets. Braille is another term for a net. So you would net the bait, or we say braille the bait on board, out of the net in the ocean, on board the bait boat. Not anymore. They're using these tubes. You see that? And they literally suck the anchovies or the sardines or whatever other bait up in and on board the bait boat. And not only does it facilitate the entire venture, but it also results in bait that is so good. I mean, you're not knocking any of the scales off when you're not brailing it. When you braille, sometimes you knock scales off. That's why you'll see guys at the bait receiver taking real short scoops, not putting too much bait in there so it's not all piled on top of one another. It's a great way to get it done. And here now on the Wolverine, this footage from Paul Strasser, I thought you'd like to see that before we head down south to Ensenada and start talking about that bite. All right, let's go down there, and we've got to talk about our friends at Bluefin Sport Fishing, Arnie Sport Fishing, as well as Costa Baja Sport Fishing, where in Ensenada they've got lovely weather right now. Remember, when I'm talking about weather, I'm talking about ocean surface. It could be raining, it could be doing all kinds of other stuff, but if there's not that much wind and the ocean surface is flat, I'm going to tell you the weather is good, and it's good right now. It's going to stay that way for the remainder of the week. So good rock fishing. You can go down to Soledad Bank, down there on Santo Tomas, and you can do really, really well down there. In fact, this morning, I'm hoping those guys are all over the fish again because it has been great on sheepshead and lingcod and boccaccio and reds, whitefish, all of that stuff, tree fish. I mean, all those fish that make such great eating, such great fish tacos are on the chew down there in Ensenada. So that is one thing you can count on right now, especially with this good weather. Now, also, there's been an occasional yellowtail and pretty good bonita fishing going on. Arnie Sport Fishing, he's been catching quite a bit of bonita and occasional yellowtail. Same thing for Costa Baja Sport Fishing down there in Ensenada. It's been pretty darn good here recently, and I hope that's going to continue. We do get these wintertime bites on the yellowtail. Down there around Soledad Bank, you'll get them. Up there at Todos Santos Islands, you'll get them. It's a yo-yo iron bite for the most part. When those fish settle in, they settle in deep in the cold water, and we're hoping to see more and more of that because that would really up the game south of the border. That would be a lot of fun. So we'll continue to watch that for you, but in the meantime, you want to go down there and load up on some really great rockfish. You can do that right now. Now, let's bounce up to San Diego, and we're going to talk San Diego, LA, Orange County-based boats because they're all out there on Tanner Bank. They're fishing bluefin tuna on the anchor, and I'm telling you, it is full speed, great fishing. No question about it. The grade of fish, I'm going to call it 15 to 25 pounds, some 40 pounders in there, occasional 70 pounder in there, but a lot of that 20, 25 pound bluefin tuna right now, which for me is an exceptional grade of fish because once again, I come from the era where we would catch a 12-pound bluefin at San Clemente Island or up in the Santa Monica Bay or anywhere for that matter and say, whoa, this is a cool catch. We're so spoiled over the last 8 years with these 200-300 pound bluefin tuna, 100+ pound bluefin tuna, that when we start catching this grade, some guys start to say, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. I'm not so sure this is so great. And man, I just want to cry when I hear that because they're bluefin tuna. They pull hard. They're fun to catch. It's December, for God's sakes. It's winter time. So it is an exceptional bite. I'm standing by that, and it is going really, really well. The Apollo came in here to 22nd Street landing yesterday morning. They had limits of bluefin tuna, excellent fishing. There's also the opportunity for some great rock fishing out there. If you get done on the bluefin tuna early, you can fish that. But they had outstanding fishing. Now, boats up in this neck of the woods who have the live squid have been fishing the squid, and it has been working really well. Sardines are working well too. Now, the difference between the two baits is this. When you're fishing sardine, you're going to go to the lighter line. You're going to fish Opsin fluorocarbon or whatever fluoro you like, but www.opsinusa.com. Put in FA at checkout. Get a love note from owner Greg Brown as well as a free gift. We want you to fish at 20 to 25 pounds. 20 is getting way more bites, so you want to do that. And also, in many of these cases, you got to drop your hook size down to as small as a number 4, number 2, like that. Once in a while, when they fire up and bite, you can go up to that 2.0 size hook. But in most cases, you want to fish that really light line, that small hook, and what else, Brett Ender? I know you're listening. Come on, Brett, say it. Thank you. Thank you very much. A good hot bait makes all the difference in the world. If you got to stand there and work at that for a few minutes, do it because it's going to pay off. Now, you go to the live squid, the fresh dead squid, or the regurgitated squid. I'll tell you about that in a moment. And they're biting the 30, 40, 50 pound. I mean, Sean Roberts was on here the other day, the captain of the Pride, and he said he thinks they'll bite the 100 pound when you're fishing the squid. He mentioned that they were fishing fresh dead squid and getting bites, and on his latest trip, he's just called in. He's got limits of bluefin tuna. Again, another good one. He arrived late last night with limits of BFT, and Danny Cadota was on that trip. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the Danny Cadota show debut here. It was fantastic. Danny is great, but Danny went from the show here and jumped on the Pride, and they had limits of bluefin tuna. Tremendous. A bluefin hits the deck on board this trip, regurgitates, vomits, whatever word you want to use, up a squid. Somebody takes it, pins it on a hook, tosses it out there, boom, they're on. So, I mean, it's like fishing calico bass almost. You're fishing fresh dead squid or live squid, and that's when they lose their minds. They don't care what kind of line's on it. They love to eat that squid, and there's so much squid on the bank right now that they're just, you're matching the hatch when you do this, because there's all that squid. That's what they're feeding on. You present that to them, and they don't even think twice. They're ready to chew it up, and it has been outstanding. Incidentally, the water temp out there, 60 degrees right now. I asked Sean Roberts, Sean, is that going to make a difference if it gets any cooler? And he said, I don't think so. I mean, there's so much squid out there. That's what they're eating. They've got to eat. They're not going anywhere with all that squid out there on Tanner Beck. So I'm going to not second guess Sean one moment, because the guy is so fishy and so on it. I think that fish is going to hang in there for a while. And this weekend, of course, there's a lot of boats running out of 22nd Street Landing. Tonight, the Pride is going to Freedom, left with a full boat of anglers last night. I'm praying they get on them. Captain Trevor, I saw him before they departed, and it sounded like he was sky high about this trip. So Freedom's out there. We'll watch them here today. The Pride going tonight. The Amigo going tonight. Just talked to Mark Paisano yesterday, and he was telling me that it looked good to him also. That's a Damien charter. Damien works there at 22nd Street Landing, does a great job on these trips. Maybe Maui will be there. Maui's a great guy. There's so many guys that fish those Damien charters that are super, really nice people, and I wish them all the very best of luck. So that's what you need to know in terms of tackle. You're going to need that heavier stuff for the squid fishing, if you have squid, and then you're going to need the lighter stuff when you're fishing sardine. And then if you do have a nighttime bite, and the Pride tonight, I believe, is on a day and a half trip, so he'll get a shot at that nighttime stuff. That's when you want your 130 pound spectra, and you want knife jigs that are 300 to 600 grams. I don't think color is important myself. I don't even think glow in the dark is important. I think getting down to where the fish are the moment the captain tells you to is the most important factor in this game. That is what you want to do. You want to pay attention, you want to work hard, and if you do that, you're going to get a fish. I have no doubt about it. Daiwa Pacific, limits of bluefin tuna down there out of H&M Landing on our recent trip. The Pacific Voyager's on a 2.5-day trip, and he has had outstanding fishing. He's moved into day 2 now, and he's headed toward limits, it sounds like to me. Just great fishing going on. You get on a nugget of that fish out there, you're on the anchor on Tanner, and it is chewing really, really well. A lot of those San Diego boats do not have the squid, but they're doing just fine on the sardine as it's biting that. Most of the times they're a little more finicky on that bait, so you're going to have to keep that in mind. But man, oh man, it is good fishing as we head toward Christmas. Who could have asked for a better scenario? I'll tell you that right now. So really great fishing going on. We're going to continue to watch it for you very closely. If you need any special updates here on Saturday, of course, I'll let you know. I am going to be separating clothing with some of you, I hope, but I can always run out and special update. And then don't forget, Sunday morning, we're going to be back here at 22nd Street Landing at 9 a.m. serving you coffee. And so come on down, have a cup of coffee, and we'll talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. We'll chat here for a couple of hours and hopefully get some great suggestions from you on how we can improve the show. We're all ears about that. Don't forget, give us a like right now. We deeply appreciate it if you could do that. All right, let's now talk islands. We'll start down at San Martin Island, which is 140 miles south of the border, down there out of Saint Quentin. San Martin Island producing wonderful rock fishing right now with some yellows also. There's some yo-yo iron, forkies down. There's been a few halibut inside the bay also, but overall it's the rockfish and it's really good. I mean, excellent fishing going on down there in that neck of the woods. Todos Santos, same kind of a situation, rockfish for the most part, but we mentioned there's occasional yellowtail and some big bonito wandering around. Coronado Islands, mostly rockfish. San Clemente Island, mostly rockfish, few calico bass, few yellowtail. Most guys are fishing beyond Clemente out there on Tanner Bank right now. And then we look at Santa Barbara Island. That little rock out there has produced some big yellows, not a lot of them, but some big yellows and also some halibut and white sea bass. Catalina Island, good bonita fishing for the sport boats. In most cases, rockfish also. Sport King's been doing well. Freelance has been doing well. I do want to mention that private yachts, once again, they don't want you to know. But some of the really good fishermen, guys that I know, have hit both Catalina and SBI, Santa Barbara Island, and they've had some really outstanding fishing on white sea bass, halibut, and yellowtail at times. All this market squid, all this squid we use for bait, it is everywhere. It's for sure a better year this year than it was last year. And last year was no slouch. It is really, really good. And China right now is not buying any more of the squid, so it's pretty much being left alone, which just allows the food chain to kind of continue to work, and the big ones do come to eat the little ones. Sometimes that sea bass bite will manifest itself in the winter, but more times than not, it will manifest itself right when that water temp hits 63 degrees, and I'm talking about really wide open fishing. There's guys getting them right now, but for sport boats and over a wide area, when that water temp gets up there near 63 is when that mechanism, that feeding mechanism, that metabolism switches on and they start to feed. And I'm thinking you're going to have a big year up there in the Channel Islands this spring, and I'm thinking you could get a good bite here at Catalina Island also. It's just all looking good. Nicholas, magnificent fishing out there. Whitefish, sheep's head, rockfish, tremendous fishing here until the end of the month when the rockfish closure will go into effect. And then you're going to have to jump on a San Diego-based boat and go down to Colonette to get the job done. But really great fishing. And Channel Islands, just tremendous fishing going on. Shallow water, lings and reds and rockfish and whitefish. It's tremendous fishing right now. Don't forget Ventura Sport Fishing up there. They do such a great job, whether it's on the local boats or you're fishing with Tucker McCombs on the Endeavor. You can always get it done. Pacific Dawn up there, 805-676-3474. Good island fishing up there in that neck of the woods. On the coastal areas, I'm talking half-day boats, three-quarter-day guys that stay along the coast. There's a little bit of wintertime calico bass fishing going on and sand bass fishing going on. Overall, though, it is shallow water rockfish from Ensenada all the way up to Morro Bay. The Morro Bay rockfish bite has been quite good here recently. Up there in Santa Barbara, great rock fishing going on up there out at Miguel and other areas. And then, again, talking about the coast where half-day guys are fishing, they're doing okay. The Monte Carlo out here has been doing good on the shallow water rockfish also, so nothing wrong with that. In the surf, a few yellowfin croaker, more barred perches, the water cools down, a few halibut. It's kind of cold out there in the mornings, which is why I'm back in the studio here on Saturday morning. That and because I'm going to leave from here and go over to La Mirada. So there's been some pretty good surf fishing out there at times. This is that time of the year on the yellowfin croaker where you don't get a lot of them, but you do catch some really big fat ones. So throwing a chrome crocodile is one way to get the job done. I like that 3/4 ounce crocodile. Toss it out there behind a breaking wave and wind on it. You vary your wind from, slow, really slow in the wintertime to a little bit more speedy, but you'll find sometimes these fish are very lethargic, so you can kind of just almost wind it through the sand and pop it up a little bit, and halibut will bite it that way as well as the yellowfin croaker. Some spotfin croaker, but they're not real fond of biting the artificials. They want to bite a sand crab, a sandworm, something like that is the way to get it done. Don't forget Big Fish Bait and Tackle down there on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. They've got plenty of bait for you, no question about it. All right, coming up, I'll give you a tease. I think we're going to have our next kids fishing trip. And Dad, you can go this time. The last one, it was kids only, if you remember. But if you want to come out, I believe it's going to be December the 16th here at 22nd Street Landing. We're going to do 2 trips, one in the morning on the Monte Carlo, one in the afternoon on the Monte Carlo. If you would like to attend, or you think you'd like to attend, get your name on the list ASAP by sending me a text and saying, yeah, that sounds good to me, and then we'll firm it up here by Monday. But send me a text, 657-227-6459. December the 16th, it is a Friday, and we'll have a morning trip, so you'll be back in around noon and then back out at noon till about 5 or so. That's going to be a lot of fun. What a great way to celebrate Christmas with the kids and with your family. I think that would be great. And our raffle will be rocking and rolling here also. We hope to have that all formalized by tomorrow, have our prizes all taken care of. And if you'd like to help us sell some raffle tickets, it would be deeply appreciated. It's going to be a great raffle. We're going to draw it at one of the club meetings here, and then we'll do another one right after that and draw it at another one of the club meetings. So let me know if you'd like to participate in that. Same thing, 657-227-6459. All right, my friends, it's a beautiful Saturday morning. Yes, it's a little chilly out, but those bluefin continue to chew. They're biting really, really well. And there's great shallow water rock fishing going on south of the border. I had such a great time down at Blackfin the other day. You ought to think about doing that. And if you're nervous about doing that, maybe we'll do a group trip where we just take you down and show you the ropes in Mexico, how to handle it, how to drive down there, how to have a great meal, how to have a lot of fun. Maybe we'll do that in the very near future. And if you can join us in La Mirada in just a couple of hours, please send Greg a text at 714-868-1577. We'll see you there. And then back here Sunday morning, 9 a.m. for a free cup of coffee and some banter with me and some of the other guys. Hopefully Danny Cadota also will be here. Take care, my friends. Have a blessed and wonderful Saturday. Hope to see you in a few more hours. And as always, I send you my very, very best and thank you for all you do for Friedman Adventures. Take care, my friends.